Thank you, choir. We're starting a new theme this month. The theme is love. Now, there's usually a progression that I do, what we do here at Inner Light. But we start off talking about the quality, what it means, how it operates. We look at how it goes and works in our personal life and our interpersonal relationships. And at the end of the month, we expand it a little bit more to global issues and collective consciousness. Well, it's the reverse. There's an urgency of the moment. There's an urgency of now. So, day after tomorrow, in the United States, it's known as Super Tuesday. And California is going to the polls in the primary. And there's just a lot of stuff going on in the world, yes? Yes. And here. And I want to remind us again that we're doing a vigil all day. If you can't make it here, do it from wherever you are. And if it's just 15 minutes from wherever you are, but I do invite you. There's something about the collective consciousness of coming together in community that's really, really, important. My topic today specifically is that love unifies. Okay? Now, I want to make it very clear about the love that I'm talking about. Excuse me a second. This is bugging me. There's something that's the antenna's sticking out and poking me. This is not working. See, it's got a little hickey there. Sorry about that flashing over here. That would be Inner Light. Woo, the pastor's showing some skin. That's later at Pride. Super Tuesday, okay? So, vote, all right? If you haven't already voted, vote. I'm far less concerned with who you vote for than you vote, okay? It is the process itself. There is an energetic release. There is something about choice, about showing up, and the fact that we have this opportunity, this incredible privilege that people have died for, that all around the world people are still dying for. And to not vote is still a vote. It's formally called a proxy. A proxy is when you don't show up, but you give other people the opportunity to vote for you. And you have to accept their vote. It's an informal proxy. And as cold as this may sound, and I really believe this in my heart, is if you want to complain about something, then show up and be part of the solution. Vote. Love unifies. Love is not just an emotion. Love is a power, it is an energy field, it is the strongest vibration on the planet. Yes. Love is not just an emotion, okay? Get that out of your head. Today, I am not talking about an emotion. An emotion may come out of it, but I am talking about the soul force. The energy field of love itself. See, your emotion is you. Your emotion is your own barometer. It's your own capacity to express this energy or not. But this energy don't care about you and how much you express it or not. It is not coming and going based upon you. It's just like the light is being the light. Now, You could wear blinders. You could live in a closet. You could shut yourself down. But light doesn't care. Light's just being light. And the question is, how much light do you want to experience? Love is here. Your expressing it or not expressing it does not diminish it at all. It just decreases your capacity to experience it. Okay? You don't diminish it. You just limit your capacity to be able to experience it. Okay? So you want to experience it, you got to open up to it. Love unifies. You hear me say all the time, the only thing that ever needs to be healed is the sense of separation. That's it. I don't care how big the global problem is. I don't care how small. It's always just a sense of separation. Separation from our good. Separation from each other. From our health. From our wealth. From opportunity. From whatever that is. Connection. It is that fear of separation. When you look at your life and you look at the choices that you've made, particularly the choices that you think weren't the highest choices that could have been made, you were locked in a sense of separation. And whatever that was that you chose, thought was going to close that gap. Even if it was no more than to numb you, so you didn't feel the separation. It may not have brought you wholeness, but if I just get high enough or drunk enough or work long enough or run far enough away, I won't have to feel the separation. Are you with me? Okay. So we get into our addictive behaviors. We get into our drugs of choice. But the drug of choice is not the addiction. The drug of choice is what we do to anesthetize ourselves. See, alcohol is not your problem. Alcohol is the evidence that you have a problem. But you'll never know what the problem is until you remove the alcohol. But the alcohol isn't the problem. It's just masking the problem. Can you close that door over there, please? I'm hearing my own echo coming out from the sound booth, and it's throwing me off. It's just masking it. So what heals that sense of separation is love. How do you get beyond the sense of separation? It's love. Not just as an emotion, but as unification. So whatever that is you're feeling separate from, you have to start feeling more connected to. You're feeling separate from your health, you got to start feeling more connected to health. You're feeling separate from opportunity, you have to feel more connected to opportunity. You're feeling separate from other people, you have to feel more connected to the other people. That connectivity is the energy field of love. That's why we say God is love. Because God is the unifying power in the universe that unifies. We do not live in a biverse, a triverse, a diverse, a multiverse. It is a universe. It's the one. See? And whenever we get off, it's because we forget we are part of the one. We start to feel estranged. We start to feel out here somewhere. And even the theological construct of the devil is wrapped in this, what I am talking about. In the theological construct of what we call the devil, Lucifer was an angel. Lucifer was in heaven. an angel, not, listen to what I'm saying. The devil was not created out of an evil energy. There wasn't like a separate energy field that created this thing we think of as Satan. That in the theology, the devil was Lucifer, an angel who gets kicked out of heaven for thinking he's all that. And can somehow make it on his own. And gets cast into this place that we know of called hell. Well, guess what? Whenever you think you are all that, and you don't need God or anything else, you get cast out of heaven and become very intimately familiar with this thing we call hell right here on earth. But it's not a separate energy. It didn't come from someplace else. It got separated in consciousness, forgot its connectedness. So then it gets a different experience called hell, not heaven, which is the direct result of the sense of separation. Love unifies. The question is always, will we be whole? That was the only question that Jesus ever asked about healing. It wasn't, how did you get here? How long you been here? What did you do to get here? What did your mama do? Didn't do? What you gonna do? How did it happen? How many times? They weren't all that drama. It was just very simple, a measurement. Will you? Is it in your makeup? Is it in your beingness to experience wholeness? And that same word, whole, is often in the King James Bible translation translated as saved. Check that out. Saved is whole. We think of it as being saved from like some bad energy. No, it's saved from the sense of separation. Will you be saved from feeling separate? And will you feel your wholeness? Breathe that in. I can see the, woo! I can see the lights going off. Your eyes look like Christmas tree lights, like ding, 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 ding. So I'm going to let you just breathe that in a second. If you need to take notes, take notes. CD should be available. This should be up on YouTube, ASAP, probably right after service. Breathe again. The election. Now, is your intent wholeness? Is your intent wholeness? Now, I'm talking to my peeps now. Okay? I'm talking to my flock, so to speak, the ones who come here, the ones who stream, and if one more person asks me, what about Trump, I'm going to scream. Do not get into fear. Do not get into fear. The Inner Light community is very vast. And I am sure there are people who are voting for folks all over the place or writing folks in. Once again, this is not about the particular candidates. These next few moments, I want to just talk about consciousness. And us not getting into the consciousness of separation. separation. That's why we're in the mess we're in now, is the consciousness of separation. But if you meet separation with more separation, you just get more separation. Which is why it says in Scripture, judge not lest you be judged. Judgment just brings more judgment. So if you're separating from the ones who are separating, that's more separation. If you're feeling holier than thou, looking your nose down at the other ones who are thinking they are holier than thou, that's just a whole, I almost said it. Let's just say hot air coming from a particular orifice. Don't demonize Trump. Don't demonize him. He is a child of God as much as any of the rest of us are children of God. Quit worrying about why is everybody following Trump like he's the Pied Piper and has everybody hypnotized. And it's so interesting to me that people don't feel that way about Bernie Sanders. With Bernie Sanders, he represents the people. He's tuned in with the people. But with Trump, nobody's saying that Trump is tuned in with the people. That the people are lost and ignorant and they're following some mad Pied Piper. No, baby, he's tapped into the people too. Listen to what I'm saying. Get out of denial. Get out of denial, because that's all that's about. He is just articulating the consciousness of a large segment of this society the same way that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are articulating other aspects of this society. Breathe. Get out of the this ain't America and this can't be and he's hoodwinking. No. It's been here. And it's been here all along. And it can never get healed until it comes to surface. America has always been a house divided. America has always been a nation that lives in contradiction. Since the first words of all men are created equal, written by a man who owned 200 slaves, we have always been a nation of contradiction. Okay? The only difference now is that more people are waking up to it. Nothing new. Nothing new. So there's an innocence that gets lost in this, where people get hurt and they get afraid. It's like, how did this happen? Is this my nation? What happened? It's always been here. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. You can't have an Obama without a Tea Party. For every action, this is physics I'm talking about. We're here as metaphysicians. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You feel it in your own body. The moment that you say, I'm going to go for it, there's something that's like, ah! The moment you say, I'm going to forgive this, oh no, they did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Ah! There is always an equal and opposite reaction. Love goes up, judgment comes down. Judgment goes up, love comes down, compassion comes down. There's always an opposite and equal reaction. But we make this work in our favor. Okay? So don't be surprised. You prepare. This is what we don't understand. The civil rights leaders of the 60s, they knew this. They knew that they had to make peace with the oppressor. Because if they actually did get the rights, now what? We're all sitting here together. Now what? Now what? What do you want? King said, I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill white people. I want to live next door to you. I want our kids to go together. What do you want? What do you want? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it separating from the separatists. Separating from the separatists is just more separation. The thing we have to get over, take a breath. I can see I'm going to be real late to pride. I'm not going to be here too long. We got started late. Take another breath. The problem in this nation and the world is supremacy. That's the problem. Supremacy. Supremacy. Whether it's putting human beings at the top of the food chain as being more important than the planet and all the other creatures, whether it's putting certain races above other races in supremacy, or one sex above the other sex, or one religion above another religion, or one nation above another nation. It's supremacy. Breathe that. It's supremacy. And that's what's being tapped into now. This is this vibration that you're hearing and feeling, where such a large segment of our population feels displaced. And they are angry and feel like they are losing ground, that the gays are taking over, and the Confederate flag is coming down, and the Muslims this, and black people have taken over the White House. I mean, and on and on and on. Okay? But it is a sense of losing ground, of losing efficacy, of losing control, of losing power and wealth. And you can look all over history, whether it was Hitler, whether it was Jim Crow here. You sell people nationalism. When it looks like they're down and losing and out, you sell them this supremacy. We're going to be great again. And we're going to be mighty. And we're going to be strong. And we're going to be protected because we're so strong. I don't care what it is. I don't care whether it's about race or about religion or whatever. Our problem is supremacy. Are you with me? Okay. Take another breath. Racism has morphed into nationalism in the United States. Folks don't want to be white, I'm just American. Don't want to be white, I'm just human. But fundamental racism has morphed into nationalism so that Americans have now become a super race on the planet. We're the super race, where we have the right to police everybody. Military bases on 120 countries. It'll be a cold day in hell where there's a foreign country that has a military base on American soil. I mean, a cold day in hell. And we 120, I can't even name 120 countries. Listen to what I'm saying. We have to grow up. We're the baby. The United States is the baby. The European superpowers, Western superpowers, they already figured it out. That you can't be colonialist anymore. You can't dominate the world anymore. That we have to have a commonwealth, that we have to have a global citizenship. They've already figured it out. So when they pulled out of it, the U.S. as the new baby has stepped in and tried to take that over. The French pulled out of Vietnam. They said, let them have their democracy. We took over that fight. We've been trying to control and still trying to control. So there's a different discussion that we have to start having. Instead of being judgmental of people about why are you following the Pied Piper, we need to be having a vision about America as a responsible global citizen that can play with other people. Instead of all this hysteria about Islamic terrorists, they are not Islamic terrorists any more than the KKK or Christian terrorists. Burning a cross, baby, don't make you Christian. The Taliban, ISIS, they're just the KKK of Islam. But we don't want the whole world judging Christianity based on the KKK. But then that's what we do to Islam, who, once again, are around the supremacy. So the problem is not, will the real supreme one please stand up? Will the better one please stand up? Oh, well, we're metaphysicians. Oh, you're just Neanderthal fundamentalists, Pentecostals. Oh, we're the enlightened ones. You're living in the dark ages. Healing folks left and right. Well, we're just talking about it. Nobody has a monopoly. Are you with me? Nobody has a monopoly. Energetically, we have to do a turnaround. That's what I'm saying. Is that we're going down a rabbit hole here. And if everybody's into judgment, and if everybody's into separation, and if everybody thinks they're better than everybody else, it isn't helping. Can you love? Can you pray? Can you hear and feel the pain? There is a riot in the Republican Party. It's their Ferguson. I'm from LA. That city was always going up in flames. And nobody could ever hear the cry. Nobody could ever figure out what happens when people are so upset they burn their own stuff down. They're burning down their own party. Because that's what you do. Have some compassion. Have some love. Hear the cry. Hear the pain. And how do we answer that? Can we answer it with love? Can we answer it with love? Can we say, I want to be in this nation with you? I'm talking physics here. The left wing can't fly without the right. Nature has a symmetry. The wings are made the same way, and they curve in opposite directions. You cannot have aerodynamics. You cannot have flight without it. How do you find a way to balance it? To live with it? To not divide over it? To have room enough for it? Because the left wing cannot fly without the right. The right's going nowhere without the left. Its supremacy is the problem. Now, I'm not saying that we're all going to get so evolved that we don't think we're good, or that we might even think we're the best. whether it's your home or your school or whatever. Supremacy is when you try to institutionalize it. Supremacy is when you try to dominate and control everybody else to make certain that you're on the top. That's when it becomes supremacy. Are you with me? Okay, you can have, okay, tonight, game 2 of the finals. NBA Finals, basketball. The Warriors think they're all that. The Cavaliers think they're all that. 5, go on the court and have at it. But they're not trying to stop each other from being a good team or getting into the finals. It's like, bring it. We need to make the world, instead of war, make it like the Olympics. Bring it. What you got? What you got? Let's share. Let's see just how good. Jesse Jackson said, you'll never know how good the game can be till everybody can play. I'm talking about a radical love here. I'm talking about radical inclusion. I'm talking about a different conversation. So when you're talking to your relatives all over, well, why are you voting? How could you do that? Really listen. Where do you think that's going to get you? I mean, really, listen. What are you looking for? What do you want? What's going to happen out of that? It's just a sense of separation. Republican Party is separating amongst its own self. Separation begets separation, begets separation, begets separation, begets separation. Can anybody stand for the unification? Can somebody say we're one nation? That we're going to make it through this? That there's room enough for all? Can we have those discussions? Because that's how we made it over. That's how we got marriage equality. We didn't get marriage equality through the gay folk. We got marriage equality through our allies. Through our straight brothers and sisters and mothers and co-workers and whatnot who said, you know what? Our families are not inherently better. Yours is equal to mine. Can we say that about other nations? Can we say that about other religions? Can we just have those conversations? You don't have to judge people. Why in the world do you want a wall around Mexico? That's about one of the dumbest things you could possibly think of. People aside, listen to what I'm saying, even in your own heart and your own consciousness. If you're really fearing global terrorists, why in the world would you want the nation just south of you to be impoverished and prey to the terrorists? Even if you didn't care about the people next door, you'd protect your neighborhood. But that's how dumb separate mentality is. That need to exclude and to... So this is what happens in our lives. I'm going to put the wall around me. And next door and next... I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. No. No. I'm calling for a new revelation. I'm calling for a radicalness of heart, of unification, where we listen, where we love, where we hear. Not fear, but hear. Not fear, but hear. Where you pray. Not about folks, but for them. As you. As you. I'm talking to my peeps here now. This is what we're about. This is what makes this spiritual community so unique and so different. Is that willingness to go there and be the change. Be it. This is where we're going. You want to go there? Yes. See? And I'm just so sorry I'm not going to be here at the end for the love train. I got to go ahead and make it over to Pride. But y'all going to dance on my behalf? You're going to dance on my behalf? Join the love train, baby. Join the love train. Peace out. God bless all of us.